Alright boys, welcome back to another video. Knicks Daily here. Today we're going to be talking about the second unit. I know it might not be the most interesting thing in the world, but the second unit's extremely important, right? The Knicks, if they win a championship, yeah, their starting lineup is going to be critical, but if we don't have a bench with depth, why does it matter how good our starting lineup is, right? You need 8 to 10 guys that can contribute every single night. We know Tibbs loves to play 6 guys, 7 guys. I think he should expand that to 10, and the Knicks certainly have players that can contribute down their bench, right? Brunson, Bridges, OG, Randall, Mitch, McBride, Devo, Hart, Campaign, Tyler Collette. That's 10 alone. There's a backup center coming. Obviously, Jericho Sims is not our backup center. He is right now, but he won't be to start the season. That was reported by Ian Begley that the Knicks will either go out and make a trade for a center or they will just sign the best fit for them in free agency. You guys corrected me yesterday, said that Daniel Tice has signed with the Pelicans. That's my bad. I should have checked before I made that video, but overall, yeah, the Knicks are definitely going to be making at least one more roster move. I have heard talks about potentially Gordon Hayward being signed to the Knicks. I don't know why the Knicks would do that. He's 34. He's regressed every year. He just can't stay healthy. I mean, I think he's played in like 50 or more games once in the last 5 years. The Knicks do not need anyone that's aging that has durability concerns because we're already dealing with Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby. The both of those guys both come with red flags. They simply can't stay healthy. Thankfully, Jalen Brunson took a pay cut because OG didn't. He took the most money he was getting. Brunson, that's not the case. Mikal Bridges, that's not going to be the case. Julius Randle, who knows? Julius Randle's the biggest mystery of this entire team. I'll get into him a little bit more later. But let's talk about the backup center position, because as of right now, I think the Knicks are 2 moves away from having their team. They need a backup center. Jericho Sims is a guy who simply is not ready to do that. And Mitchell Robinson, you're going to need a center that can come in and start probably, 20 to 30 games? That was reported by Ian Begley of SNY as well, is that the Knicks want a backup center that can start 30 games. Because Mitch, although the Knicks love what he brings, the best ability is availability, and Mitch has only played in 70 more games once in his 6-year career. The question is, though, who's that going to be? Because we know that the Knicks have tried to reach out for Walker Kessler and Jalen Duren and Clint Capella. That was all reported. Nick Richards was another guy that came up. But teams are using leverage for the Knicks, saying that you guys need a backup center. I need Miles McBride and some draft picks, right? I'm just giving you guys like a hypothetical. I imagine that's what they're saying, because if it was just something cheap, then the Knicks would have made a move, but they haven't. So clearly, teams are trying to take advantage of the Knicks, and the Knicks thankfully haven't given in to the bait. They are taking their sweet time. I think what's going to happen, and Ian Begley thinks the same thing, Precious Achiuwa is going to come back, and the Knicks are probably going to make one smaller free agent move, nothing crazy, to someone to fill out the roster. That means that the Knicks are going to go in with Mitchell Robinson, Precious Achiuwa, Jericho Sims. Who is behind them is the question. I have no idea, but there is one player that I want to talk to you guys about that I think deserves a real chance, and that's Dmitro Skapensev. He averaged 13 points and 7 rebounds in the Knicks' 5 Summer League games. He only played 17 minutes a night as well. I think he could give the Knicks 10 to 15 minutes off of the bench for 82 games. Maybe to that point, the Knicks are at the deadline and they make a move, but I think Skapensev's NBA ready. I mean, he has impressed me, guys. We talk about Jokovic, we talk about Kolek. Why the hell is nobody talking about Dmitro Skapensev? He looked amazing. He's got good touch. He can get the rebounds, and he's 7'1", and he's 26, so he fits our time frame as well. I think he's the perfect fit. I mean, why else do we have the G League? Like the Westchester Knicks, he's been developing in there. He played well in the Summer League. Why not give him a chance, right? Especially because what we could do is we could promote him over Jericho Sims. So now all of a sudden, Mitchell Robinson, Skapensev, bring back Precious Achiuwa. I mean, that's actually pretty solid. It's not exactly the greatest case scenario, right? I mean, that would be Walker Kessler, Jalen Duren, or Nick Richards. But I would prefer Skapensev over Sims because at least it's something fresh. It's something new. We already know who Jericho Sims is. He's a guy that he's not a good defender. He can rebound because he's got an insane level vertical. I mean, the guy was in the dunk contest for a reason. He can catch lobs, but he doesn't really give the Knicks anything else. And he's also 6'10" versus Skapensev 7'1". Yeah, I'm pretty much. I'm not gonna say I'm off of the Jericho Sims train because I still think he could be our backup center and could be solid. But that's it. Is he's just solid. You look at our other positions off of the bench. Miles McBride is not solid. Dante DiVincenzo certainly isn't solid. Josh Hart, and then campaign Tyler Kolek. I feel pretty good with them. I mean, Kolek hasn't played an NBA minute, a second in the NBA, of course, for the Knicks, so it's kind of hard to talk about him. But everyone else we know has contributed. Josh Hart was our second best player in the playoffs. Dante DiVincenzo put together his best season, a 40% three-point shooter, and he absolutely erupted very often for us in the starting lineup. Miles McBride had a career year. Campaign the past 4 years has been a rotation piece for some good teams. I mean, he went to the finals with the Suns. I'm pretty sure, don't hold me to that. My knowledge outside of the Knicks is pretty bad because I only have time to watch the Knicks and follow the Knicks. But yeah, really, that's kind of it. It's just the big position. Precious Achiuwa, assuming we bring him back, which I think we will, he's another guy. But then I see Jericho Sims, and it's like, he's basically the type of guy that will keep us afloat. I don't know the benefit that Sims is going to bring us. Whereas Skapencev, I know that legitimately he's got everything you look for in a center. With his touch, his rebounding ability, setting screens, and because of his size, when he's rolling to the basket, I mean, that's going to cause defenders to pay attention to that. And all of a sudden, if you're Jalen Brunson, you whip it to the corner, and there's a shooter there, right? Whoever it be, maybe it's Bridges or Randall or something like that. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about him because there really hasn't been much talks. You Google Dimitrios Skapencev, let's see what even comes up. Probably not much. Yeah, like 5 days ago, 2 days ago, 2 days ago. Let's sort by the last day. Past 24 hours. I mean, all of these platforms are literally from the Ukraine because that's where he's from, which is awesome. Shout out to them if anybody here is listening from there. All right, there was an article 7 hours ago, 3 truths from the Knicks Summer League. We actually could react to this, so let me look at it quickly for you guys. Let's see if they talk about Skapencev. Let me see. Okay. Tyler Kolek. Okay, center attention. Let's see what they say. Porty. Talk about him. And any mention of Skapencev? Yeah, there actually kind of is. He regularly flirted with double-doubles in their 5 games. Both are traditional centers. He might need to develop a little more to generate any lasting professional staying power. Yeah, but that's actually an amazing point, and that's where I wanted to get at is, well, how come Jericho Sims is just sitting as our backup center? He needs to continue to develop. I think you can make a strong case that Skapensev's probably more of an NBA center than Sims. Like, Sims is extremely athletic, and the Knicks used a second-round pick in him, so it's kind of what's kept him around. And he's played for the Knicks for years now, and he's had starts. So, but I just think I'd rather have a guy on our roster that we could deploy out there if needed, right? Like Jericho Sims, I don't have any faith in him at all. I mean, he was one of the worst defenders in all of basketball last season statistically, right? That's pretty crazy. Now, offensively, he was really good. So I'm not just going to hold that against him. But again, if you want to play center for the Knicks, your offense, you just need to be able to set screens and catch lobs and dunk. So offense isn't that important for a Knicks center. What is important is defense. And I think Skapencev offers more than Jericho Sims. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know down below in the comments. But to end this video off, let's talk about Julius Randle. So the thing with Randle, and you guys have to remember that I'm one of the few Knicks channels that is not the biggest Randle fan, but I'm smart enough to realize he's a 2-time All-NBA player. He's a 3-time All-Star. And he sort of set the foundation of the Knicks. He came here when nobody else wanted to, and he became a star. And without Randle, I certainly would not be here. I mean, I've been covering the Knicks before Brunson got here. It was like the year before Brunson got here, so it hasn't been that long. But still, Randle was on that team. And it was a disappointing season, don't get me wrong. But Randle, when healthy, is one of the more dominant NBA players. I mean, we continue to forget that he averaged 24, 9, and 5 on 47% shooting. If you take away the 13 games, it's even better. It's really the most efficient he's ever played as a Knick. So to me, I'm not trading Julius Randle unless I'm getting a better player, right? And we could sit up here and debate who's better than Randle, who isn't. If you trade Randle, I need a better player back. And that's probably not going to happen, so then don't trade him. Now, the issue with Randle is that he has a player option, so he could leave the Knicks for nothing. Randle could say, hey, look, I'm out. Bye. So that's why you have half of the organization saying we should look to trade Randle. We don't know about his future. You also have people that question his fit. Can Randle fit in with this team? And although it is a little bit funky to me, Mikal Bridges, OG, and Brunson couldn't be any better. I mean, that is an unbelievable fit with Devo and Hart coming off the bench and McBride. You know, Mitchell Robinson there just to anchor the defense, to catch lobs, to get rebounds, and then it's like Julius Randle, right? But we saw in January with OG and these boys that the ball moved. The Knicks were winning, and they were winning by a lot, a wide margin. They had the best defense in the league, and offensively, they were scoring enough points to be able to blow you out. So I need to see Randle play, right? I don't want the Knicks to trade Randle. There was a point where I was like, okay, maybe we could trade him and try to bring in somebody else, but let's just see how he does. Another thing is that Randle's coming off of surgery, so if we were to trade him, the value will not be close to its highest because he's coming off of surgery. So if the Knicks legitimately do want to trade Randle, we'll let him play 10 games and then trade him, right? But again, if Randle's playing well and the Knicks are 8-2 to start the season off, they beat the Celtics on opening night, which is looking like that's what's going to happen. The first game of the year is going to be up against the Boston Celtics, and man, is that going to be an absolute hype game. I mean, we might be looking at the two best teams in the East, but in the NBA. I think the Knicks are going to be the second best team right behind Boston. Now, Boston, we match up well with them because we have the best player in Brunson, but also we have the defenders to throw at them, right? Josh Hart, OG, Mikal Bridges. Now, Julius Randle is not known for his defense, but he's a dog. He's physical. He'll get after you. But the reason why Randle actually needs to be on this team is because of the way he plays. He's not the best shooter. He's not the best defender, but he's a bully. And when you're playing against Boston, you want to out-physical them. Everyone's like, oh, no, let's go get a center that can shoot threes. Let's just spread it out and outshoot the Celtic. No, why the hell would we try to outshoot that? No, what we need to do is play our game and play it as high level as we can. Defensively, scrap, claw, attack the basket, get rebounds offensively, get second chance points, and then hopefully Dante DiVincenzo's out there somewhere, and just wherever he is, throw it to him and he'll hit a three. The Knicks need to play to their strengths, not to their opponents' sort of weaknesses, right? We're not going to be able to outshoot the Boston Celtics. That's just ridiculous to think about. But does that matter if we score at least one more point than them at the end of the game? That means we beat them. And I know a lot of Knicks fans are sort of questioning, I don't know how they're questioning this, but the reports that I'm making, I think the problem with a lot of Knicks fans is that they think I'm reporting this versus I'm telling you guys what's being said, right? From people who cover the Knicks for a living, right? Like, I cover the Knicks on YouTube, but I don't work for the Knicks. So Ian Begley is the main guy. Every single day I'm reading from him, looking at his Twitter, or just simply watching the video, the contents he puts out, right? And then I'm reacting to it as a fan. So it's going to be a lot of fun, man. Hopefully you boys enjoyed the video.